more than ever before. And we have seen Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf taking a substantial number of seats, in fact 26 seats. Now today I have a very special guest, Mohammed Imran, who is better versed, I would say, than myself in terms of the politics and the actual constitution and many other technical things when it comes to Azad Kashmir. You are the former president of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Northwest and a very strong supporter of Imran Khan, being not just a political leader, but I think Imran Khan as a person. So welcome to the program.
Thank you, Shanaz. Thank you.
I want to talk about the elections and those people that have been following the elections in the last few days. Just over a week ago, we were following the elections of Kashmir, and I know that some of my other co-hosts have covered this subject, but today I want to focus what's happened since. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf took 26 seats, and I think People's Party took 11, and we saw Noon League taking around 6 seats. It's like topsy-turvy, because if you look at just in the last election, if you look at those particular numbers, they actually belong to Noon League, didn't they, in terms of Nawaz Sharif and their party? Yeah. What's happened there? What's been the difference there, Imran?
I think it is the repeat of what happened in Pakistani elections 2018 when Imran Khan they became Prime Minister of Pakistan. I think it is repeat in Azad Kashmir. It was repeat in Gilgit-Baltistan. It was repeated again in Azad Kashmir. That is what happened. People have seen Pakistan Muslim League Noon in their government in Pakistan. They have seen them in their government in Azad Kashmir. So they were in better position to vote this time, that who to vote, because they had their track record, their history of their governance of PMLN. And they obviously could see the People's Party's government in Sindh as well. So they had a clear view who to vote and why to vote. I think this is what happened in.
But it's quite interesting, because if you actually look at some of the media coverage leading up to the elections, and you saw big personalities. I mean, Mariam Nawaz went to Azad Kashmir, and you saw the crowd pulling in terms of her as a personality. Many people actually thought that if you actually look at the crowds and the jalsas that was leading up to it, that something has gone wrong, because if you look at those people that came out to listen to those particular leaders, then the numbers would have been different, wouldn't they?
Look, there are a number of videos circulating on social media, even on mainstream media as well. People have gone there, which is quite normal, to be honest, even here in UK as well. People just go to see whether they support that leader or not.
So what, they actually went out to see Mariam Nawaz?
When it comes to Mariam and Bilawal, I mean, it has been confirmed now. The people have actually gone there to just see them, how do they look like. Other than that, when it came to voting, you could see that they didn't vote for them. Now, Mariam Nawaz's whole election campaign started with Imran Khan. It ended up with Imran Khan. There was nothing else, no substance in her speeches. And I challenge Muslim League Noon that show us one sentence against Narendra Modi in her election campaign. What did she say? Anything? Did she say anything about India? Did she say anything about Narendra Modi? No, she didn't.
Because that is something important, isn't it, when it comes to Azad Jammu Kashmir? Obviously, because of the Indian occupation of Kashmir and the issue of Kashmir as an issue, not just the politics of Kashmir, but the fact that within her speeches that this has been said, that there was very little, let's say, in terms of what she actually, her narrative, or what she said in terms of India's occupation or the issue, the cause of Kashmir. Why is that?
This has been happening from the day Nawaz Sharif, I would say, his speeches against Pakistan Army, openly criticizing the serving generals, Chief of Army Staff, Prime Minister Imran Khan, and Mariam and her allies, their advisors, they thought that, oh, this is going to be a hit in Pakistani population or Azad Kashmir population. We're going to carry on with the same narrative in Azad Kashmir. What they didn't know was that Azad Kashmir people, they love Pakistan Army. They love Pakistan Army. The Pakistani soldiers, Pakistan army is protecting on the borders. They are giving their lives away for Kashmiri people for the last 50 years or 70 years. So how can they bear such a slandering and such remarks against Pakistan army? And then, you know, people, okay, put this on side for a minute. She didn't take name of India or Narendra Modi or what is going to happen about Kashmir issue. Put this on side for a minute. Did she give any plan to Kashmiri people? Yeah, this is what we are going to do if we come back in the government. But she didn't. Not a single plan, program in her speeches about the thing. And she was holding Imran Khan, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf accountable for the government of her government. Pakistan Muslim League Noon was in government in Azad Kashmir for 5 years. I always say, oh Bibi, you need to answer Kashmiri people about your performance in Azad Kashmir. It was not Imran Khan, it was not PTI who was in government in Azad Kashmir. So she couldn't deliver anything in her election campaign. And you know what now? It has become evident now that there is a rift in their party. Why didn't Shehbaz Sharif give a single statement about Azad Kashmir election during her election campaign?
But I think it's actually true, isn't it, that actually Shehbaz Sharif actually didn't actually visit Azad Jammu Kashmir during the election.
No,
he didn't. There was actually he wasn't seen. Apparently, he was due to go to one or two of the actual areas, but he didn't, and that there is an internal party rift. I want to move on to People's Party in Bilawal and what they said. Throughout the campaign, there's been a lot of, let's just say, below the belt remarks, and in particular, Ali Amin Gandapur made some remarks which I think have been highlighted within social media, and some action has been taken by the Election Commission. What was all that about?
Amin Gandapur, that is more political than Election Commission's reaction to what they have said to Amin Gandapur to leave as a AJK. No, I mean, if you compare what Maryam Nawaz has been saying and what Bilawal has been saying about a sitting Prime Minister of Pakistan and other personalities, why didn't they take any action on their statements?
So do you think that the Election Commission has made a wrong decision when they asked Ali Amin Gandapur to actually...
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. And what, you know, Maryam and Bilawal, the kind of slandering and the kind of statements they were coming out, some of the, I'm sorry to say this, some of the mainstream media in Pakistan, everybody knows, they told their statements, they follow them. I mean, they've got very strong links between Pakistan Muslim League Noon and certain TV channels. So they have created something which was not there. I mean, if you are going to balance something, then just put Maryam Nawaz speeches on the screen as well.
I'm going to come to that.
Especially, I would say, let me mention here the one statement which she mentioned Imran Khan's sons here, and that Jewish and all that. It was, I believe, she should be sued for it.
I was going to come to that.
One
of the comments that has been made, there has been some very negative connotations that have been attached to former wife Jemima Goldsmith and the sons. But Imran, when during elections, whether it be here or anywhere else, and in particular in Pakistan, there seems to be historically and more recently this mudslinging. So between certain personalities, we often hear certain remarks made by Sheikh Rashid when it comes to Bilawal, and sometimes it's laughed about in the media. And then in terms of his language, in terms of his pronunciation, and I'm not a very strong Urdu speaker, and I'm sure people would probably laugh at some of the words that I use in my language. But sometimes on a lighter note. But on a serious matter, I've seen certain tweets and certain people's reaction that certain words that were used in terms of against Imran Khan, or in terms of particular about his former wife and children, the fact that they come from a Jewish background, the fact that those certain connotations, do you believe that there needs to be certain, there needs to be the discussion in Parliament where this is prohibited, or even further, that strong steps are taken to stop, not just in particular Imran Khan, but anybody when it comes to making that kind of those kind of speeches and remarks in terms of someone's religion or culture?
Look, let me just take you back in 90s. Okay. Now, what mainstream media of Pakistan is not showing to our younger generation is what has happened in 1990s when Pakistan Muslim League Noon came into power, and when they were like the largest single party of Pakistan at that time against Benazir Bhutto and all that. Now, if from 1990 or 88 onwards till 99, you see their statements. You just listen to their speeches, what they have been saying about Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto Shaheed, what they have been doing to her. I mean, the pictures, I mean, I don't want to, go into details for that, but they've done everything what they could do in their power to bring down respect of a woman, I would say. Now, what they've thought is that because we were very successful in that era from 90 to 99, so we could repeat the same thing against Imran Khan. And it has happened. They tried to, but what they didn't know was, but this time it was not, there was no social media at that time, but now there is a social media. Even if it is a mainstream media is giving us a news, we have plenty of other
you have alternatives,
sources to check that information, whether that information is true or not. Believe me, mainstream media is in trouble because of the social media. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf's social media is the key and the biggest strength of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, who has competed with the government resources, which Maryam Nawaz Sharif established a social media wing in Prime Minister House. She's been, everybody knows that. This is as true as a daylight.
I mean, Maryam Nawaz is seen as, in some circles almost a leader when it comes to social media, and the team that she has put together, a very successful team.
Let me just, she is liking and retweeting something which even I can't, believe me, which I can't retweet and like that, the kind of wording against Imran Khan. I can't do that, but she is doing that. She is encouraging people, young generation who support them, that this is right, you carry on with this and we're going to get somewhere. But no, you can't. This Azad Kashmir election, it is the ultimate result of what they've been doing. They have to now, their opposition leader Shahbaz Sharif, last night in interview, he accepted this, that we have to change our strategy. There should be a strategy to go in 2023 elections. We've been doing things wrong. So in other words, he was telling his party, Mia Nawaz Sharif Saab, who's sitting here in London, and Maryam Nawaz, enough is enough. You are not going to get anywhere with this kind of attitude and this kind of politics. So there is a rift between them now, and you will see in 2023, inshallah, people will not accept this. And Maryam and Bilawal, to be honest, I don't know. I think it is enough what we have said about them. But
speaking about in terms of what chairmen or party leaders are saying, whether it comes to Shahbaz Sharif or whether it comes to Imran Khan, one of the things that Imran Khan actually did say during the election campaign, when it came to candidates, was that certain decisions that have been made, and he himself, as always, accepts where decisions that are made perhaps not in the interest of the party or not in the interest of public, that certain wrong decisions have been made, despite the fact that there have been 26 successful candidates who've now been elected. Do you believe that those candidates are the right representative, of the people of Azad Jammu Kashmir?
I believe so. What Imran Khan said that day, he didn't say that it is might not be interest of Kashmiri people or interest of nation, or he said that there might be some which I don't know. This is something which a leader is a mirror. What I see a leader is a mirror of an ordinary worker.
But how can a party chairman, Imran, how can a party chairman say that, if I take your words, that so Imran Khan has, I now refer to him as the party chairman, not the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So a party chairman actually admits that certain decisions in terms of the selection process for candidates may have been wrong or are wrong. How can you say that he may not know? He is the party chairman. Surely he should know every single candidate.
No, he didn't admit it. He didn't admit it. He said that there might be, there may be some candidates. You know, we never know, and it happens in all over the world, in all politics. I mean, do you know how your MP here in UK is going to be in future? No, we don't know. I mean, it has happened. We have several examples that, you know, we voted them and then after we found out, no, I mean, they're thinking differently from us.
Of course,
so that is, it is just a slang language in Urdu that, you know, we might have given tickets to these people. It doesn't mean it didn't admit anything, but this is the purity. This is the purity of that leader. Name me one leader in public gathering who's got guts, who's got courage to say this to his supporters, that I might have, maybe there are. People were just, you know, they were amazed with his statement, because the way we are thinking, our leader is mirroring us. Our leader is thinking same as we are thinking. Now this shows that he is going to check, there will be a check on them, because basically he has warned all of them. If you look on the other side of things, you know, he's just warned them that I am sitting there. If your leader is not corrupt, if your leader is honest, you know, we might have made some mistakes, but I am there, inshallah. So just, you know, we need to follow the vision of Imran Khan. So this is what a message he conveyed. Imran Khan is a very, very, very clever politician. People don't see him
being a party worker. You have obviously followed Imran Khan as a leader, and being a former elected representative as well. When you speak to people out there, having the historic win, do you believe that people are confident that there's going to be actual delivery now within Azad Jammu Kashmir? Do you believe that the team that has been selected, 26 people that have been selected by the public, they've been voted in by the public, that team is going to be able to deliver? Before I talk about the next step, what's the feeling out there?
That is exactly why people have voted for Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf in Azad Kashmir. We're just missing a very key point here. It's been 3 years of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf in government in Pakistan. Azad Kashmir media, you know, there were campaigns and, you know, all sorts of things against Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf's government there. So Kashmiri people who were going to vote, they saw that all. They knew that what is happening in Pakistan. After all that, if they have voted for Azad Kashmir, then truly they believed, and they believe in Imran Khan, that the Azad Kashmir is going to be different this time. So that is why they have voted. This is a very simple thing. They have seen 3 years in Pakistan. Now, if they would have voted to other party like, I mean, Noon League or People's Party, then we could have said, okay, people have seen PTI government in Pakistan, they are not happy in Kashmir, so that is why they voted against. So this is basically a stamp on Imran Khan's governance in Pakistan, that people have voted him in GB first and then in Azad Kashmir. So I believe there will be a drastic change in how Azad Kashmir government, AJK government's been run in the past. This time it is going to be different, very different.
In terms of leadership, the people who are going to make some of those decisions and the people who are going to look at perhaps developing or redeveloping those links with Pakistan and other countries is going to be in terms of the President and the Prime Minister of Azad Kashmir. That in itself has become a bit of a battleground, hasn't it? And my understanding and the sources that tell us, and I'm sure you would agree, that Imran Khan himself has stepped in and said that as party chairman, he is looking at this very closely, and he himself will make that decision. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And, you know, look, I mean, if AJK party, you know, 26 people have won from there. Yeah, my limited information is, which I can share with you, that Imran Khan, party chairman, has said to them, just agree on one name, forward me that name, and I will be happy to just take that on board. Obviously, Imran Khan is going to look into it because he's party chairman. But he said, I'm happy to do, because if you are giving me one name, all of you who are representing Kashmiri people who voted you, so I'll be happy to take. But in every party, in every organization, there are different point of views. They're different, I mean, I won't say groups, because if there are groups in party, it means that they are not going to listen to chairman of the party. That is grouping. It is not. This is a difference of point of views. This is.
So it could be a camp or a lobby or different group.
Different group, because if you see every single one of them, the 26 people, they unanimously said and they agree to it that Imran Khan is party chairman and he is going to make this, and we are going to accept his decision.
So let's have a look at the candidates and the leading candidates. Barrister Sultan Mahmood, the former Prime Minister of Azad Kashmir, who was also the PTI president, AJK president, who has won his seat. And then we have Sardar Tanveer Ilyas, also a candidate, and a new recent name, Shanaz Saddique, has also come into the mix, and there may be other people that we don't know about. These particular candidates are very different, aren't they? Because if you look at political standing, if you look at political grooming, experience, international exposure, the cause of Kashmir, the people of Kashmir, and the names that are understood, there seems to be one name that is perhaps stronger than any other name. And would you agree with me that is Barrister Sultan Mahmood?
Absolutely agree. The Barrister Sultan Mahmood is the former Prime Minister. What we need to remember and understand is when Barrister Sultan Mahmood Chaudhry was Prime Minister of Azad Kashmir, there were different governments in his 5 years. There were change of governments in Pakistan, but he carried on with it. Historically, when there is a change in Pakistan, whether you are in 2 years of government in Azad Kashmir or 3 years of government in Azad Kashmir, they just get rid of you. They just do like a vote of no confidence, or they just make you resign. But he continued as Prime Minister. That was a big achievement. But that comes with an experience. Now this is what I, as political worker, an ordinary political worker, what I want to see in Azad Kashmir is a smooth government. A smooth government is when you've got a Prime Minister with an experience of running the day-to-day governance in that Azad Jammu and Kashmir, which Barrister Sultan Mahmood has got that experience there. Then there is sometimes it is God-gifted thing that you've got a binding force. A leader has got a binding force within that party, within that group, that no matters what happens, they will debate within that party, they will debate with each other, but they will follow that. So Barrister Sultan Mahmood Chaudhry has got that skill, he's got that thing in him.
So why is it then that is now not an easy decision? Why is it then that you've got a candidate there who has that wealth of experience, and perhaps when I look at the whole Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, he's probably the more senior in terms of position. There's no other person within Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, within Pakistan or Azad Kashmir, that's ever been a former Prime Minister. He holds that level of experience. So why is it then that you've got, if I can say, on the same level playing field at the moment, because they're all candidates, no one's been knocked out of this competition, that you've got someone like Sardar Tanveer Ilyas, who is a business tycoon, known within that business community, who has, relatively speaking, very little political experience. Yes, he has been an advisor to the Punjab government, but he has very limited experience. And then you have someone like Shanaz Saddique, whose name also come into the mix, who's only just been elected, lost the last election, never been elected before, is there, but maybe he has a little bit more of an edge because he has a family of a political grooming. He's from a very well-known family. Why is it then, Imran, that the party chairman is having to think about it? Because transparency on merit, on background, all those things matter, don't they, to Imran Khan?
Yeah, it does, and this is exactly what Imran Khan is doing. Now, you tell me, now, Muslim League Noon, People's Party, would you be able to imagine, would you be able to even think about it that, if they come in government, that the Prime Minister or Chief Minister is not going to be one of the Sharif families? What about the People's Party? Would you be able to think that,
but Imran Khan has no brother or anybody who's ready to become that. So he could do. So you couldn't have that argument.
Imran Khan has got family. He could do. He could put. I mean, Noon League has put the nephews, nieces, and all that. Every brother, their close relative was in government. Imran Khan could do the same thing, but he didn't. Now coming back to Azad Kashmir, look, every worker or politician, when they go for election, especially when they go for this elected process, they've got aim, they've got their goal, they've got their objective. There is no harm in it.
No.
There is nothing wrong in it. Like someone is thinking that, I want to be that, I want to be this. There is nothing wrong in it.
So in terms of ambition,
democracy,
goal.
This is within that party. Yes, why not? I will give you an example. This, for the past few days, people have been misinformed by this mainstream media and some social media posts. There was no interview. Who said Imran Khan has took interview from the candidates? There was no interview. It was their advice. Now please try to understand, Imran Khan is Prime Minister of Pakistan, is party chairman. He needs to take advice from his senior members.
So who are these people then, Imran? Who are these people that are advising Imran Khan, the party chairman, in making that decision, a very crucial decision? And it's perhaps in 2021, it's perhaps more of a crucial decision because the relationship with America, the relationship with India, the relationship with all the neighbouring countries, what's happening with Turkey, the development with China is going to be more crucial and in terms of the role of the President and the Prime Minister of Azad Jammu Kashmir. Who are these people, I ask you, that are advising Imran Khan? I mean, what the information that you have.
Look, advising, because 4 people have reportedly met, and they have met Barrister Sultan Mahmood, Tanveer Ilyas Saab, Khwaja Farooq Saab, Azhar Saddique Saab. They've met one-to-one meeting with Imran Khan.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are other people who have met with Imran Khan as well, and the party, the 26 people who have won elections, they will meet Imran Khan.
Okay.
Now, these are
they have a say.
So these are the people who are going to advise Imran Khan, who Imran Khan is going to listen. That, what these people are, because they have been sent in assembly by people who voted for them. Why? I mean, this perception that Imran Khan was taken interview, it is absolutely rubbish.
Okay, so we agree on that. No interview was
taken.
No
interview. It was just an advice. It just for.
Do you think he has the right advisors? Do you believe that those people that are advising Imran Khan are the right people to advise him when it comes to the coming leadership of Azad Jammu Kashmir? Because that decision is basically imminent. I mean, it's tonight, tomorrow. It's people at the edge of their seats. Any political worker, and also Pakistan Tehreek Insaf workers, I would say, perhaps in this country and across the globe, are waiting for that decision, aren't they?
Listen, Imran Khan's decisions. I mean, he's Prime Minister of Pakistan now. Who would have thought that Imran Khan is going to be Prime Minister of Pakistan one day? You know and I know. His decisions, people didn't like his decisions. Even in cricket, people didn't like his decisions. In World Cup 1992, people criticized him about his decisions. Why he's going first, why he's bowling, this way and that way. A different strategy should be there. But at the end, his decision was right. So here, you know, it's the same thing going to happen. He will make a decision. We are forgetting one thing. He's party chairman, but he is Prime Minister of Pakistan as well. He's got access to that information which I don't know, which you don't know, which not an ordinary person could not know that information. So Imran Khan is sitting on that information, and when he's going to decide, so there is no there is no other better person than Imran Khan to decide
as a
about
prediction
it.
then, I don't know if you want to do this, but as a prediction, obviously we've talked about 3 particular candidates. Could it be that we have a situation that similar to what happened in the Punjab government, that no agreed candidate could be agreed, whether it be from the elected individuals, or those people that are obviously advising the Prime Minister and party chairman, that an unknown person, a fourth person, could come along and actually run the government in Azad?
Look, I won't predict. I will tell you, as an ordinary political worker, as supporter of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, an ex-official of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, and supporter of Imran Khan, I will give you my view on it. I won't predict. I want Barrister Sultan Mahmood Chaudhry to be Prime Minister of Azad Kashmir. The reason is, he's got experience. He's former Prime Minister. There is this opposition is the strongest opposition in AJK Assembly for God knows how many years. So People's Party, Muslim League, Noon, Sardar Atiq Saab, they're all on one page. So there is a strong opposition there. So we need a united party, an experienced leader who can deal with them. So these are all various reasons, and plus the very important reason which I think is that, you know, if there is any new person of Prime Minister in Azad Kashmir, he has to start this from scratch for Kashmir issue in international, in overseas. Here, when you have someone who's got huge following in overseas, America, Europe, and especially here in UK, you know, why would we want someone to start from scratch rather than just capitalizing over what that leader has got there overseas already? So Barrister Sultan Mahmood Chaudhry has got huge following here. We've seen million marches. Single-handedly he's been doing this. So we need to recognize that. As political worker, I will be more comfortable with Barrister Sultan Mahmood Chaudhry because I have seen his past track record for a Kashmir issue. If any new person come, I don't know how his approach is going to be, how he's going to carry on with this Kashmir issue and all that. So I've got all my confidence, and I'm pretty sure that he will start it from there, not here. If Barrister Sultan Mahmood Chaudhry, and another thing, which we need to think about it, communication. That is very important thing. We have seen Raja Farooq Haider in European Parliament. He made a joke of our Kashmir. He made a mockery of our leadership of Azad Kashmir. He couldn't speak. He couldn't communicate what he wanted to say to European Parliament. We need a leader who can communicate with European Parliament, with United Nations, with the UK Parliament. We need a leader who can communicate, and who's got that track record. Barrister Sultan Mahmood Chaudhry. So why I hope I've made myself clear why I want that.
I think you've made it very clear, but what begs the question then, if we actually go along with everything he said, and obviously a lot of it is substantially, you can see it in social media, historically, you can see in terms of the cause, language acquisition, a strong communicator and all those things, and we know very little about the two or plus other candidates, so we know very little about them in terms of what they may be able to do. Just because somebody hasn't done it previously doesn't mean that they can't do it, but we don't have enough information there. There is a delay, and we will have a decision. If that decision isn't what you're saying, i.e. that Barrister Sultan Mahmood is not selected as the Prime Minister of Azad Kashmir, do you think he will leave the party?
No. He said himself in recent interviews.
Some kind of forward block, lobbying?
No. Yesterday, after parliamentary meeting of all AJK new MLAs, You know, he clearly said it, you know, decision is Imran Khan's. So whatever decision the party will accept it. As president of AJK, he will accept the chairman's decision. Now, one thing, I mean, people are criticizing Barrister Sultan Mahmood Chaudhary that, oh, he was in that party, he was in this party. Please don't go on there. Please, no. Whoever has got problem with that, I am willing, just come and just talk to me. There's a long list for that. There's a long list for that.
That's
so
democracy.
that is not
That's
that is not criteria.
Everybody has a right to be a member of any party, change a party.
Shanaz, what we need to see is 2016 election results. The results of PTI then, and now see the results. He, for God's sake, he was president of that party who won in Azad Kashmir 26 seats and now 2/3 majority. Now, if you are giving credit to leader, why are you shy to give credit to that president of that party who fought that election? All the party campaign and everything, he was heading that.
Is it because though? Is it because it's more of an issue within the party itself? And whatever word you wish to describe it, say you don't use the word grouping, that there are certain camps, and even within the selection process for the candidates, there was lobbying to develop certain camps, and as you would do in any normal political process, that
as it happens here,
as it happens here or anywhere else, that there is an actual rift within the party itself when it comes to making that decision.
No. Look, I'll give you an example. If you go through the social media, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the TikToks, whichever social media, name me a single PTI supporter who's named a person, say, I don't want him to be Prime Minister. Now, this is very important thing which I'm telling you. I've been going through all the posts. I've been looking all the posts, all the comments. Nobody, not a single PTI supporter or activist that said, I don't want such and such person not to be Prime Minister. Now, they have said, I want to be Barrister Sultan Mahmood Prime Minister. I want A, B, C, them to be Prime Minister. That is their personal liking, disliking. They've got every right to do it. Imran, this is exactly what Imran Khan wants. He wants PTI to be an institution where people can express their views, where people, whoever knows Imran Khan closely, you convince him for something, so he will agree to it. Now, you can't tell Imran Khan that, oh, I want, this is it, that I want. He will never agree to it. So this is what institution. PTI is becoming an institution. That was the promise of chairman of the party, Imran Khan.
We will know in probably in the next hours to come, very soon, what decision is going to be made, and what that will how that will reflect when it comes to the actual leadership of Azad Jammu Kashmir. Overseas Pakistanis and overseas Kashmiris have been following the elections very closely, and over a million, estimated 1.3 million overseas Kashmiris live within the United Kingdom. How much of that decision will bear on the lives of those overseas? And I want to reflect a little bit upon the seat of the overseas seat. The overseas seat has been announced, and tomorrow the oath taking will be taken by Mohammed Iqbal, who is from LA too, and he has been selected for that position, I think, by 26
votes.
26 votes. So 26 seems to be a magic figure for PTI. 26 in terms of candidates were elected, and 26 votes were given to Mohammed Iqbal, and he is now formally being selected for that position, and tomorrow will do his oath taking. What difference will that make in terms of the overseas Kashmiris living here?
Shanaz, this is a very good question. I mean, look, you've seen the post on social media and the mainstream. Who is Mo Iqbal? I mean, where has he come from? You know, I've seen some very negative comments about him as well. I will tell you who is Mo Iqbal. Mo Iqbal, there are two types of party workers. One is like me, at front. We're going to gatherings, we're going to political rallies, we just, do all sorts of things there openly, publicly, people know our faces and all that.
You've got the front soldiers,
front
haven't you?
soldiers, There's another party worker. That is, they're behind that party. They are backbone of that party. Who's Mo Iqbal? Mo Iqbal is head of finance PTI UK. PTI UK is the largest chapter in the world with now currently over 10,000 pounds a member. There was foreign funding case in Pakistan. They tried to do everything in their power to bring down Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. Who was the person who was managing these finances and where they couldn't prove a single penny? Who was that? Mo Iqbal was that behind that. He is a humble person, the nicest person I've ever met. He is been he's a successful businessman, and he is been in and out of Pakistan consistently. He had connections with Pakistan. Now, if he is not coming to political gatherings, it doesn't mean he's not PTI. I see him as more PTI than myself because he's been there for PTI for years now.
There's no doubt that Mo Iqbal has a very special relationship with Imran Khan. The fact that the chairman puts that trust in somebody like him
with
to look
party.
after with the party to look after finances, membership, and my conversations recently with people that don't know Mo Iqbal, just as you have said, he's somebody that's helped to build the institution here in this country and to look after it, nurture it. And often we often say when it comes to membership and all those things, it's his baby. He's helped to develop it.
Shanaz, he's one from us. What we've been saying, what all people living here, we need someone from us. So Mo Iqbal is from here. He's from here locally. So he knows then how it is there, what are the problems, and how he's going to take party forward, because he's been looking after us.
I mean, in the next few days, I've had a conversation with him today. So the next few days, I'm hoping to do an actual exclusive interview with him once he's done his oath taking. And I think he's been in
I'm personally very happy
for the last month, very much involved in the election campaign.
One thing I want to say, another reason why I'm happy is that PTI UK is being recognised. Mo Iqbal is the first person. Inshallah, there will be more people, more senior people are there. But in government, Mo Iqbal happens to be the first person who was linked to PTI UK, and he's been overseas MLA now. He's overseas MLA now.
So we'll go back to that original question then. Obviously, we talked a little bit about Mo Iqbal and those people that don't know him. What will that mean to the people here, especially within the United Kingdom? It is an overseas seat. It's not just a UK seat. It's an overseas seat. It's a global seat. It's one seat. The fact that he will now represent. What will that mean in terms of the ordinary PTI members, the ordinary workers, those people that have voted perhaps for the first time within these elections, and in particular the youth? What will that mean to those people?
It means a lot, to be honest, and I think Mo Iqbal is capable of dealing with the problems and issues of overseas Kashmiris, because he's going to represent Kashmiri diaspora here all over the world, and he's been looking after membership of PTI. But he is MLA, overseas MLA for all of regardless of any political affiliation. So people have bombarded him with the emails. We've got this, PTI is not doing this, this is problem in High Commission, this is problem there, this is what government needs to do and all that. You are dealing with, we are doing membership through you, you've got links with Khan Sahib, you got say in your government. So what will be
his role? Obviously he's going to be bombarded, just as we saw that as with Bukhari Sahib, he was bombarded, just as we will see other people bombarded. Somebody gets a position and suddenly they're given all the problems. What will be in terms of his role and powers? What will he be able to do? And do you think he's making his own team here?
Yeah, he has to be honest. He has to make his own team. Why I'm focusing, or why I'm just saying UK again and again, because UK has got the maximum Kashmiri population here in UK. This is the largest country where the Kashmiris are present. So this is why I'm just focusing on
very significant.
So he has to make his team here. He needs to make a team, which I'm sure he will, which the message, the top priority will be Kashmir issue. I mean, that is the whole thing of, that is whole idea, and that is the whole strategy behind the Azad Kashmir Assembly. What is their responsibility? The prime responsibility of Azad Kashmir Legislative Assembly is to promote, because that is base camp of Kashmir, and to promote Kashmir issues, what is happening in India and all that. So this is the prime thing which Mo Iqbal needs to do.
What about the other issues? What about the other issues that are often, there's a confusion perhaps to some people that when they have a land dispute within Azad Kashmir, which portal do they put it on? Where do they raise that question? When they have issues, say, for example, in terms of their own, identification documentation, they go to the consulates, those kinds of issues, many other issues, for example, banking issues or other issues that they have, or they want to purchase something, for example, the import and export. We did a program a few months ago. Will he be, all those issues, will they now actually go through this particular ministry, or will they actually continue to be part of Pakistan? Because that in itself is an issue, isn't it?
No, Mr. Trot, look, I mean, Kashmir, I mean, why there were elections in Kashmir, why there is a different assembly in Kashmir. Pakistan's got a National Assembly as well, Kashmir has got Legislative Assembly as well. So if they both can exist, so obviously the two overseas positions, one is for Kashmiri people living abroad, and one is for overseas Pakistanis. Now, it is pretty easy. I mean, this is what he's going to do. I mean, he's got very good relationship with Zulfi Bukhari. Zulfi Bukhari has done amazing things, you know, as overseas minister, and now obviously he's not. But he needs to link overseas Ministry of Pakistan with Kashmir overseas, which has never happened before.
Yes.
So he needs to link these two, and then Kashmiri people, because just remember, people, you know, the 12 seats, constituencies, the people are living in Pakistan.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're Kashmiri as well. 6 Valley and 6 Jammu Kashmir.
Yes.
So there is already a link there between
Yes.
Pakistan and Kashmir. So he needs to create this link with overseas ministry in Pakistan, Mo Iqbal, and then he can do new things. I mean, a portal. I mean, who's going to stop him to create a portal for himself in Azad Kashmir? I mean, that portal, he can create that portal, and he's well capable. We know that he's very good with these things.
Yeah.
I mean, the state of the art, this membership system and all that, we have seen it. So he is well capable of that. So Azad Kashmir portal.
Well, we'll find out in days to come. It'll be very interesting. The last 2 minutes of today, we are coming to the end of the program. I'm sure we could probably talk a long time, but I've just been told in my ear that we've only got a few minutes left. It would be wrong of me to miss the fact that we are heading towards the 5th of August, Kashmir Day, and there are many programs that are being planned. For those people, in the last minute or so, for those people that don't know the importance of 5th of August and are looking perhaps go to some of these programs, I know that there are going to be programs across different cities, and in fact there have been certain instructions that I've given from Pakistan as well that it's important to commemorate that day. What does that day mean to Kashmiris?
Look, I will start with one sentence, Shanaz. When it comes to this, you know, obviously being Kashmiri or being human being, we just got very sad what has happened in, you know, Kashmir, in that Indian occupied Kashmir. People in occupied Kashmir are not living, Shanaz. They are surviving. So there is difference between living and surviving. They've been surviving this for the past, God knows how many years, but for the last 2 years, I would tell you, give you one example. There's a professor in occupied Kashmir. He said, I challenge you, there were only maximum 15 days of education in universities and schools there in whole year. There was no education there. There was no internet. People couldn't use the debit cards and credit cards. Businesses everywhere. So basically, India, Article 35A and 70, they abolished it. Now they brought that part of Kashmir into their jurisdiction. So they broke the promise which they made with Kashmiri people that you will have a plebiscite. Yeah. Now, 1948 United Nations resolution, it was clearly stating that the people should be given this plebiscite option. So it has been 2 years, and situation has gone worse there.
I mean, there is no media presence there. BBC wanted to go there, they couldn't. They didn't let him go there. RSS ideology is there, Modi is there, but this is political. Remember, this is political movement now. Nobody can stop political movement. Armed movements can be defeated. Political movement cannot be defeated.
We've actually, and I think it's a very important statement that you made right at the end, the political movements cannot be stopped. 5th of August is one particular day that many people will be commemorating and remembering 2 years of lockdown within Indian occupied Kashmir, and my appeal, and I'm sure Imran would support me on this, is go along to one of those programs, whichever city you are, and I'm sure it'll be there on social media. So I want to say a very big thank you to Momin Ram for joining me today. We've had a very interesting conversation, and let's see what is happening, what's to come in the next few hours of the politics within Kashmir. I bid you farewell and hope to see you very soon. Assalamu alaikum.